And so he said he took it like, he says, I examined it like I would a trial. He said, I went all over the country and I spoke to the experts, both in favor and not, on both sides of the aisle. Today, he's one of the leading apologists for the faith, because he too found out that Jesus Christ is Lord of all. Well, the next person I called that day was the guy who's my closest friend. His name is Hal Santos. When I met Hal, he was a youth minister down there in the Baton Rouge area. I met him in the gym where we worked out. He's a pretty big guy, and he walked up to me and introduced himself and said he'd seen me on regional television. He says, I just got one question for you, Ted. Do you know Jesus? He's a pretty bold guy. That started a conversation that started a relationship. And Hal Santos left there. He went as a youth minister to a church in Fairview Heights, Illinois, which is right across the river from St. Louis. And when that pastor retired, he put Hal in there as the pastor, and Hal's been the pastor there ever since. But I look back now and I see that God placed Hal Santos in my life in January of 1982. 10 years later, March 1992, in my darkest, desperate hour, I called Hal. Why? Relationship. You see, Hal stayed in contact with me. Periodically, he would call me and just talk to me. And anytime I was in the area, he would come by and see me. And here's what he didn't do. He didn't beat me up with religious questions. In other words, my relationship with him was not based on performance. So looking back, what I understand is that he demonstrated to me the unconditional love of Jesus Christ. Now, my pastor at home is a great guy. I just didn't have that kind of relationship with my pastor at home. Nothing wrong with my pastor at home. But I had a relationship with Hal. Well, he arranged for my wife and I to fly to St. Louis, picked me up at the airport, and took me on the longest 30-minute ride of my life. My wife arrived ahead of me. Pastor Hal, what am I going to do? What do I say to Melanie? He said, Ted, Jesus said the truth would set you free. But he never said it'd be painless, and he never said it'd be easy. He says, if you'll trust Jesus today, trust him like you did when you were 15 years old and your dad died and your mom started drinking and you went out to that cemetery, because he knew my story. He says, put that childlike faith back in him today, and he'll forgive you, Ted, and he'll restore you. He said, you see, he never left you. You left him, and all these years he's been trying to draw you back. When I called Hal, he said to me,